Dear friends of MSc second year zoology, after a long duration of vacation, we are meeting again here for entomology. In previous lectures, we have considered what insects are, how they have modified every part of their body and become a powerful creature in the animal world. Today, we are going to study the introductory part of the entomology. What is that introductory part? What is this science? Entomology, if we consider, entomos means insect and ology means science. So, it is, if we define the entomology, study of entomology is therefore study of biology of the insect, biology of the insect, biology of the insect. So, biology of the insect. In this definition, everything in word biology will include everything about the insect. That means their anatomical features, their morphological characters, their classification, everything, their digestive system, respiratory system, reproductive system, and so on and so forth. So this is what a biology of, that we have to study biology of this insect. Biology, study of biology of the insect is called entomology. Now this entomology have two branches or divided into two categories. Which are two categories of this entomology? That is what a basic entomology, basic entomology, basic entomology. This is one entomology, basic entomology. And second, as you know, applied entomology, applied entomology, applied entomology. So these are what we can see, two categories of entomology. The subject of entomology is therefore divided into two such categories. Now what the basic entomology deals or gives us? It gives us an idea about morphology. It gives an idea about morphology of the insect. Morphology. Morphology, what does it mean? It means its morphological characters. As you know, the body of insect is divided into three main body regions: head, thorax and abdomen. But what are the structures? What is about the exoskeleton of these three divisions? Not only this, what are the appendages present on these three divisions of the body of an insect? That is what studied in morphology. Then it also gives basic entomology also include biochemistry of the insect. Biochemistry. What it deals with? It deals with how biochemically digestion of the food material, which we call as metabolism, that occurs inside the alimentary canal of an insect. Not only this, how the respiratory gases are exchanged at tissue or cellular level, that all biochemical events as far as insect body is considered is included in biochemistry. It also deals with physiology of insect. Basic entomology, this group of entomology, this category of entomology include physiology of an insect. What the physiology of insect means? How every part of insect works. Physiology is the science of working of organs and systems. So different parts, different organs, different appendages, different systems. For example, nervous system. For example, flight. For example, different types of what we can say, different types of morphological characters, morphological structures, how they works in the body of insect, that is studied in the physiology of insect. Of course, these all are dealing with basic entomology. Basic entomology also include embryology of insect. Embryology. Nowadays, this branch deals with this is also included in basic entomology. That embryo, how the insect embryo is developed. That means beginning from the copulation during aerial flight, how insect meet, how the zygote is formed, what is the type of egg that is in insect, of course, and from that central acythal egg having superficial cleavage, then a central in this central acythal zygote, how the embryo develops, what are the embryos, early embryos, they are filled, how they get the nourishment, it means. All those are studied in embryology of the insect. Besides this, it also includes taxonomy of insect. Now all of us know the insect is in large number. Large varieties of insects are present on the earth's surface. They acquire every habitat of the earth. Aquatic habitat, we can find the aquatic insect there. Aerial habitat, in the air we can find the insect. Terrestrial habitat, on that also we can find the insect. So therefore, every habitat they have occupied because they have modified every part of their body. Hence, among arthropods, the class Insecta is a major class, including huge number of insects, and therefore they should be classified so as to study, or for the purpose of study, for the purpose of to remember. Hence, they are studied in this branch which we call insect taxonomy. So inside this subject, in the subject which we call taxonomy, it totally relates with this huge number of an insect, how they are classified, how many orders, among how many orders they are grouped according to their morphological characters and other various characters. So that is studied in case of taxonomy. Apart from this basic entomology also include the endocrinology. Now what is endocrinology, it does mean how the endocrine system of an insect works. Which are the endocrine glands present in the body of insect, such as corpora alata, corpora cardiaca. Number of endocrine glands, they are present in the insect, and these endocrine glands have either smaller or larger role in the survival of an insect. As a matter of fact, what these endocrine glands secrete, what is their effect on target organ, and how that effect is essential for the survival of insect, that is totally studied in endocrinology. Thus, basic entomology deals with such a type of issues. Morphology of an insect, biochemistry of an insect, physiology of an insect, embryology of an insect, taxonomy and endocrinology of these insects, which are the nature's marvel. Nature has created these marvel, these wonderful animals, and their their number is also huge as compared to the other animals in the animal kingdom. So this is what the basic entomology which we have to deal with, in which we are interested. But during last few years ago, this applied entomology that we have studied during I think SYBSc standard, TYBSc standard, what are the application of this entomology in the public sector, in agriculture sector, in industrial sector, in medicine sector? So that is studied in this applied entomology. Applied entomology. Now this applied entomology therefore deals with application of entomology in public sector. Now study of therefore it deals with the study of beneficial and destructive insect. Beneficial, or we can say useful, in simple language, useful insects, which are useful insects, and harmful insects, useful and harmful insects, harmful insects. So this is what the parameter which is studied under this applied entomology, useful and study of useful and harmful insects. Now apart from this, applied entomology also deals with sericulture, as you have studied sericulture, the different types of silkworms produced by of an insect give different types of silks which have more value not only for the cloths, not only for the saris and different kinds of dresses, but they are essential in medical. That silk is very useful in medical field as it contains protein serine, which has a medical importance. Now, apart from sericulture, you have studied apiculture. This is what apiculture. Now all of us are familiar with these things. Apiculture, that insects produce. The insects like honeybee produces honey. Not only honey, but number of the products such as bee wax, bee venom, different things which are essential for the human welfare. As a matter of fact, the honeybees collect the honey from different flowers, stored in the honeycomb, and as a result of which they pollinate our crops of the farmers, and therefore the yields per year in per hectare is totally different or totally increased as compared to non-use of honeybees for the pollination. So this is one more factor, that they are best pollinator, and therefore the yield of crop is increased. That is studied in apiculture. Now besides this, lag culture, all of us are familiar with this thing also. Lag culture, this is another aspects of applied entomology, which produces the insect. Lag insect produces the lag, which is utilized for preparation of various ornamental things, telephone, microphonic records, and number of the applications to this lag have, which are studied in this lag culture. Now, depending upon this, there are different branches of applied entomology. Which are those branches? So, if we consider the branches of applied entomology, branches of applied entomology. The first is agricultural entomology. Agricultural entomology. This is one more branch in which we can study different types of pests which are harmful to the crop of farmer. which are destructive to the crop of farmers. Then a forest entomology. This is another branch. This is first branch. Second branch, forest entomology. What is this forest? Forest entomology. I write in short, entomology. It also gives different types of pests present in the forest which attack on the forest plants, and therefore yield from that particular forest is decreased. That is studied in forest entomology. Apart from this, a veterinary entomology. All of us is familiar that veterinary entomology. Now what is this veterinary entomology? It deals with study of different types of pest, insect pest of course, present in our cattle. Their study, their life cycle study, their control measure, their identification, all that matter is studied in veterinary entomology. Now, another branch is medical entomology. Medical entomology. Now, it is studied in medical entomology, the insect which spread different diseases, which are very difficult to control. They act as vectors for different types of diseases, and therefore that is studied in medical entomology. So these are therefore branches of this entomology which deals with harmful insect. These are harmful insects. While these are useful insects. By this way, useful insect like this sericulture, apiculture, lab culture. So these are the facts of entomology. Now we are dealing with basic entomology, and after the introduction of this entomology, or in short, this is what introduction of entomology. But apart from this, there are certain things in the sense, few things that we should know, which are those role of these insects in the modern biosciences. Role of insect. There is a major role of these insects in biological sciences. What is the role in biological sciences? In short, that if we consider biological sciences, I write here role of insect in biological sciences. Science. So role of biosciences or biological sciences is that a cytology. If we consider cytology for the purpose of the study of cytology, study of cells, the insects are very sincere. These are certain modern branches of the biological sciences which need the insect. So therefore, in biological sciences, insects have major role. They are very essential. For example, cytology, study of cells. Then genetics. What does it mean? In genetics also, the insects are very essential for different types of experiments. For example, so as to observe the multiple alleles. For example, so as to observe the different types of mutants and different types of hereditary characters transmitted from one generation to other generation. The experiments, all these experiments are done in the genetics, of course, by using insect. All of us are familiar the name of that insect, that is known as Drosophila. Now, apart from this biological science which we call genetics, cytology, parasitology. Now, what do you think? Parasitology. What is the role? Parasitology. So this is another parasitology, another biological science in which insects are essential. For example, head louse, for example, ticks, for example, mites. They are the insect and acting as ectoparasite. They spread various kinds of diseases, and therefore they are thoroughly studied in the science known as parasitology. Now, apart from this parasitology, genetics, cytology, the different branches such as toxicology. The insects are also studied in toxicology. Toxicology. Different experiments are done in toxicology by using various toxins. Their lethal dose on insect, their effect on insect body, toxicology, studied in the toxicology. Study of toxins by using the insect. Apart from this, a biotechnology. Biotechnology is another branch. Biotechnology. It also requires technology. It also requires number of insects or different types of techniques, so as to study different types of techniques, biological techniques. Thus, entomology is a unfolding episode. Why unfolding? Because vast number of insects are there, which becomes a unchallenged power among the animal kingdom, in the animal kingdom. And therefore, not only these, that cytology, genetics, parasitology, toxicology, biotechnology, still in future, different branches will come forth by using insect as experimental animals. Therefore, entomology is the most important science. Thank you.